In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your dog into a lamp.
Why are you the way that you are?
Okay, maybe not turn your dog into a lamp, but I'm going to show you how I made this life-size dog lamp. So in order to make a life-size dog lamp, I need to get some measurements from my actual dog. Luckily for me, I have two great candidates right here. Never mind. To build this life-size dog lamp, we're going to be using construction lumber. Of course, you can use whatever type of wood you like, but to keep costs down and because I have a lot of scrap 2x4s, I decided to go with that. After getting my measurements, I decided my front legs are going to be 19 inches long and my back legs are going to be 18 inches long. The body is going to be 22 inches. With that information, I took my 2x4s over to the miter saw and started cutting down my body parts. Now because I am reusing old 2x4s, I did square them up with a joiner and a planer. This also removes the rounded edges of the 2x4, but we will add this back later. If you're lucky enough to find straight 2x4s, then you don't have to do this. For the legs, I rounded the edges using a compass to mark my shape. Using a jigsaw, I get rid of most of the waste and clean them up using the oscillating belt sander. Not only does it look better, but it's functional. It lets you move the legs without damaging your floor. For the main body, I glued up two 2x4s to make them a bit wider and just drew on it until I find a shape that I like and look normal for a dog. I will have downloadable plans and templates down in the description so you can print them out and trace them on your wood yourself and make your own much easier. Since I basically need to make pairs of the front, back legs, and the torso, I decided to start with one and I was going to use my router with the flush trim bit to make a second. Unfortunately, the 2x4s is too thick and the router bit wouldn't reach. I had to pivot and shape both of them using the oscillating belt sander. After shaping, I found the center of my rounded edges and I drilled a 1/2 inch hole. This is because we're going to be using a 1/2 inch by 6 inch bolt to secure everything together. It was a mistake to do this now, but I'll show you why in a little bit. You see, I need to recess a bigger hole because my 6 inch long hex bolt is too short and won't stick out the other end. I did this on purpose to keep my hardware somewhat hidden from the wood if you look at it from the front view. In order to avoid this, you could just buy 8 inch hex bolts and have them stick out in each end. But I didn't want to go that route. I wanted the 6 inch and I wanted to conceal them. Because I need to recess my bolts into the wood, I made an outline using a pencil and then removed enough material to make it work. So the issue I had is I can no longer align my 4-center bit to drill my bigger hole. I ended up using a template to help me drill in the right spot using my 4-center bit. I did run into another problem. I had made my neck a little bit too short and I was not able to line up the holes that connect my neck to my head bracket. I tried moving the hole location on the head bracket down a bit and that worked, but it just didn't look right. I had to count that as a loss and redo the neck a little bit longer. For the head of the dog, we're going to keep it basic with a simple tapered box. I used a 1x12, cut down to size, glued and brad nailed together. You can also use plywood here, or 2x4s. So I think this is mistake number 3. I don't know, I lost count. But I cannot get the driver inside the head to secure the head bracket. I had to go out and buy a 90-degree driver attachment to get this done. I routed out a small 1/4 inch rabbet so that the back panel could sit flush with the sides. To make this puppy light up, I'm going to be using this rope lamp kit I bought off Amazon for $13. I'll put a link down below in the description. I don't have any electrical experience, but with this, you just screw in a light bulb and you're good to go. Since I used material I already had, I ended up using 2 types of wood. I have pine and Douglas fir. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a color difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and stain it to hide that. If you're weird like me and like videos where I build random stuff like this, then go ahead and click on this one. I'll wait.